Yes, we shall.
Shall we? Hello, everyone. Welcome to Waking Up with Nana and Pep Pep. I am not giving you time. No warning. Hello, I am Aroogs. I am one of your hosts for Waking Up with Nana and Pep Pep. And this is my best friend in the entire world and fellow trauma trisket, Pep Pep, aka Sean.
With spray cheese.
Ew. Okay, when you say spray cheese, it just sounds like dick cheese that just goes everywhere and it's. I love it. I like easy cheese, not spray cheese.
Isn't that the same thing? Isn't easy cheese, spray cheese the same thing?
No.
You never held it up and talking about cheese. We're talking about cheese, not nothing else.
Why are you this human? Why?
I don't know.
I updated my touch portal. I have all these buttons now. It's so much fun.
Oh my god, you are playing with your buttons.
I am playing with my buttons today. Okay, so here is our disclaimer. Here on Waking Up with Nana and Pep Pep, we are not here to discourage or bash anybody's religious beliefs or faith. We think faith and religion are beautiful things when done in an emotionally and mentally healthy way. We are not licensed professionals. We are not therapists. We are not counselors. We are not social workers. We are not even certified life coaches. We are two trauma triskets that talk about our healing and our journey on the internet. However, if you need to get in touch with a professional, we will be glad to help you. We do have a charity that does support mental health awareness and getting people the help that they need. Hi, Dad is bald. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in a hot minute. Hello.
How you doing?
I know. So please contact us on all the social medias at NerdMomAce or at NerdMomAce1, and we will be glad. Or my friends, we also have a nice little. Maybe now I changed all my buttons.
Oh God!
I know.
Gotta find the right button.
I gotta find the right button. You gotta find the right combination. Go join our Discord. It's under the BSBN Discord, and we're under Nerd Mom Ace. We have that going on there, so you can join. Like we also do, our schedule is there, so please follow that. And yeah. And Sean and I are both grew up Southern Baptists, which is a evangelical Protestant denomination of Christianity. And we both left the church. I left when I was much younger than Sean. Sean had about 20 more years of trauma, which is fan-fucking-tastic. So, yeah. So we often refer to it as a cult. If you do not believe that it is a cult or you do not agree with anything that we say, we are totally okay with you not agreeing. However, we ask that you be respectful. And if you just don't like anything that we say, then you are more than welcome to leave. It is totally okay. And you can come back tomorrow or on a gaming day for 76 Sundays. It is totally fine. So with that, what are we doing this week, Pep Pep?
Well, first of all, I need to acknowledge Cavino. Hey, Cavino. And did you bring the racist donuts or the regular donuts?
I need the key lime donuts, which, by the way, Shep was like, Shep on Friday went like, hey, you said key lime. And I went, what? He's like, your comment in the group chat. I was like, what? I mean, all right, fine. Those key lime donuts are the bomb. Oh my God, they're so fucking amazing.
Oh, I will tear through some key lime stuff.
I know.
Donuts.
Anyway.
Bye. All right. So, was laying in bed yesterday. Woke up, and I was like, you know what? I should get up. I should get up and I should do something around the house, and I should clean my house, and I should, I don't know, be productive. And then it dawned on me. I keep telling myself should. I tell myself should a lot.
It didn't dawn on you yesterday. Let's not lie to our audience. That's not cool. Like, how about you start being honest? Like, if you're gonna do a fucking funny intro, let's not do one that's a lie.
I wasn't.
It dawned on you. It dawned on you that just yesterday it dawned on you. No,
it did. It dawned
yesterday
on me.
being like 3 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. In one thing I've learned in therapy, it's today's topic, is because it's affected both of us, is all of the shoulds and should nots that we have grown, that permeate our life. That's what today's Right? Yeah, that's today's topic. The shoulds and the should nots.
The have is not have not.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Oh, I just noticed your title. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
This is something that probably affects a lot of you, a lot of our audience. I think it affects most people. It's a very common mindset. The idea of should. So we're gonna talk about it today.
Are we gonna talk about it?
We are gonna talk about it today. And this doesn't necessarily affect if you grew up in a religious home. This permeates pretty much all of society, whether you grew up in a religious background or not. It's so commonplace that you probably don't even realize that you do it.
And honestly, I didn't even realize how, like, I thought I was on this. You know, I mean, as we all know, we've had this podcast for over a year, and I thought I was on this journey, and I was like, oh, yeah, I'm taking control of my life, blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Blah blah
then I
blah.
had my blah blah blah, and then then I had my breakdown, and which it's not bad, but then once you're completely in pieces and you're having to put yourself back together. And then my therapist even said this to me like a couple days ago. Because I sat there and I was like, I feel this, I feel like I should be this way.
Mm-hmm.
Or I should do this. Or I should be thinking this. Or I should be doing that. And I have to admit, Sears was the first person that told me this. Because he had been in therapy too. And his therapist was telling him that too. He was like, who says? Who says you should? And I literally went,
Wait, what?
What?
Does it make you twitch a little bit?
It did. It did. Who says? Who says?
Mm-hmm.
Who says? Fuck.
So
because then you realize.
So he infected you, and you infected me.
Uh-huh.
You called me out on that. Oh my!
It's the pandemic of healing. Woohoo!
And now we're affecting all of our audience,
all of
our
you. Congratulations. There's no mask
infected.
for this. I mean, there is a mask for this, but I mean, do what you want with it. This is. But yeah, it's one of those. And when I said it to Sean, he was like,
But I argued. Did I argue with you the first time?
You argued so fucking hard. So, this and this and this. Yes, this and this. And I was like, but who says? Who says it's right for you? If this is your choice, if this is your decision, if this is how you feel, and this is like the same thing C-Riggs did to me. And my therapist does to me. Oh my God, my therapist did it to me on Thursday, and I was so pissed at her. I was like, I literally was like this.
Your therapist is probably doing a good job if you get pissed at him.
Yeah, at least once you go, I hate you. You're fucking. Why are you so good at your job? Okay, fine.
I said that to my therapist this past week.
Yeah.
Why do you got to be so good at your job?
Yes, exactly. And so that's the thing. Who says I should be doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Are you saying you should be doing this? Who says?
Where does that come from?
Right.
Oh, and when you start peeling back the layers of where does that come from, you're like, oh my God.
You get really pissed
does
off.
Not feel comfortable.
You get really pissed off because you realize it's not you. Like if you feeling that you should but don't want to, it's not ever you. It's the church. It's your parents. It's a trauma. It's a moment of trauma. It's your boss. It's society. You realize that these things, these external influences, like have infected your brain.
Yes. Should is a feeling of obligation. Whether you say should, ought, or must. I ought to do this. I ought to think this way. I must think. All three of those are all the same thing. So whether you say should or not, you use the others. It's the same concept. It's a feeling of obligation. It's and why is that so bad? Because it's something that you're bringing on yourself. It's a negative thought pattern. It's framing negatively, and it it nearly always comes with it follows with a feeling of guilt and anxiety. Whenever you frame things in the form of should, that's where you go with it. You feel guilty, you feel anxious. I
Okay,
should not be
Calvino.
eating donuts. What if I
Here's
don't
a
eat
good
them?
example.
Yeah, that's a perfect
Okay.
one.
Here's an example. Here
Mhm.
is where my therapist, like, if I say I should not be eating this. Okay, who says?
Mhm.
Well, this, it's not healthy for me. Okay, you're right. If you eat too much of it, it's not healthy for you. But are you
Mhm.
eating enough that it's going to hurt you? I don't think you're eating 3 dozen donuts in one sitting. Are you eating a couple, maybe two or three? Are you indulging? Yeah. So who says you shouldn't be doing that if, as long as it's making you happy and it's not hurting you?
Mhm.
Is it going to
Or
negatively impact your health? If it's not
yeah.
negatively impacting your health and your doctor says so, then maybe you shouldn't. But if
Mhm.
it's not going to negatively affect your health and it is something at the moment that brings you joy and
Mhm.
happiness, and you're not doing it to an excess that it hurts you, and you're not like stealing the donuts from somebody else, who says you shouldn't?
So Calvino's got a box of a dozen donuts sitting in his lap.
Hmm.
And he's like, I shouldn't eat this entire box of donuts. Where, where does he go with that? Where does he go with I shouldn't eat an entire box of donuts? Because is it eating an entire box of donuts going to negatively affect your health?
But if he
Mhm.
shouldn't, why is he
Mhm.
eating the dozen box of donuts? Why is he eating the dozen donuts?
That's a good question. Good
Is
question.
he eating the
Why does
donuts?
he believe?
Right.
Hmm.
Why does he not believe? But what is he eating the donuts to, because he's emotionally eating? Because
Hmm.
he's trying to escape from feeling
Hmm.
something? I remember the
No.
t-shirt idea I came up
Maybe
with.
we'll trigger the memory.
But like, is he eating the dozen donuts because he's trying to
Hmm.
avoid
He's emotionally eating.
emotionally eating?
Gotcha.
Or did he buy the donuts because he had a craving and he's like,
Hmm.
this would make me happy today?
Hmm.
Does eating the donuts align with your goals? Right.
That's a good one. So why should he not? Why does he think he should not? Well, because he's trying to work on getting healthier. Okay. So how do we frame that differently? How do we take that it doesn't align with my goals and actually make it and say it better? What do we do with that? Instead of saying I shouldn't eat a box of donuts.
Here's you want to hear oh my god, this made me laugh and made sense all at the same
Mhm.
time because I used this analogy and my therapist turned it around and used it on me and I was fucking pissed at her about this too. I love her so much. She's so amazing. So I said, I there are days you don't want to work out. But like Autumn says, you never regret the workout that you do, right? So
That's correct.
I force myself to work out. And some days the workouts aren't great. But I did it. And okay, I worked out. But like Searook said, does it align with my massive goal? So if I
Mhm.
don't want to do it, but my goal, my value goal, which is what they teach you in DBT, my value
Yes.
goal is I want to be healthy and strong,
Mhm.
then I need to work out, whether I want to do it or
Mhm.
not. That is going to lead
Mhm.
me to do. Like, there's a lot of things that I don't want to do that I do because it leads to my valued goal. But if my valued goal is to run around naked high on cocaine, then forcing yourself to work out, even when you don't want to, doesn't align with that. That is not going to help you achieve your valued goal. And I went,
Well, I mean, if you're running around naked, do you want how do you want to look while you're running around naked high on cocaine?
oh, see, that
Maybe you
is you
want
overcomplicating shit, Sean. Aren't
It's
we?
what I do. That's my superpower.
No, that is your trauma.
That's also true. It's my trauma superpower.
Oh, that's true. That is true. That is true. But that's what it is. It's like I shouldn't do this, or I should want to do this, or I should, you know. And it's tough. LOL.
Mhm. Yeah. I'm not going to eat this box of donuts because I want to be this way. This does not align with my goals. I'm not going to do this. Also, wait, you can't. You're laughing and putting me in timeout at the same time. Fine.
That's a prayer thing. That was funny as shit, but you're in trouble.
Wait. Mm-hmm.
But a lot of where like and why this is such a big deal is because a lot of how we feel about how we conduct our lives. And it's so like I can't speak for Sean, but I know that we've talked about it. It's so ingrained in us from childhood and society. And our society, our little circle of, influence was the church for a long time.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, that was love. We were talking about love. That
What
was
is
your
love?
shirt idea. Baby, don't hurt me.
Don't hurt me.
That was the shirt idea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Very funny, but very true.
Yeah.
But that's not completely on topic. But
So
yeah,
where do these shits come from? That's what we're trying. That's what we're trying to. We're thinking about is why do these creep into our thoughts and where they don't just happen naturally. They're taught to us. We learn. This is a learned behavior. This is a learned framework, a negative framework.
mm-hmm.
So where does it come from?
Guilt, shame.
Does should statements come from guilt, or does it lead to guilt, or is it cyclical?
Cyclical.
Because
we feel guilty. Because we feel guilty for not doing the thing that we feel or we have been told that needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
And like the list of rules, the things that we need to do to be whatever, the value goals, the person that we want to be. And we think and comparing ourselves. And then we're like, oh God, all right, I should go and work out, even though I'm super tired. I've had a long week, a long day, emotional day. But I don't want to do it, but I should do it, even though it probably isn't the best thing for you. And you feel guilty for not. And if you choose not to, then you feel guilty for not doing it. And then you feel guilty for feeling guilty. And then you tell yourself you shouldn't. You shouldn't be feeling guilty.
One should begets another should or shouldn't.
And then it's a cycle. God. It's this vicious cycle. And then your head starts spinning. Cycle. And you feel like you're in that you feel like you're in that carnival ride, that carnival ride that spins around, that keeps you like
oh my God.
To the wall.
Just keeps spinning.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it feels like, man.
That does. You're right. Oh my. I feel that working out one, I feel that one all the time. I should do this. I should work out. And inevitably leads to that guilt that I didn't work out. So now I feel like a bad person. Now I feel like I failed. I didn't work out. I should have worked out and I didn't work out. So I failed. Without, and not analyzing that further to go, why did I feel that way? Why did I think I needed to, why did I feel like I should have worked out? What obligation did I have to work out?
Well, I'm going to share a moment in my therapy. I'm going to go in great detail of what the discussion was.
Yeah.
But when she asked me, okay, well, we talked about, you're saying should a lot. Mm-hmm. Who says you should? Like, where do you feel like that's coming from? And I sat there for a minute and I went, well, I mean, I grew up in the South. I grew up in the church. Like, I grew up thinking like if it wasn't XYZ, if these things weren't happening, then I shouldn't feel this way. And I should do this because that's the expectation. And she goes, yes, but you're not religious. That doesn't line up with who you are. So why are you
Uh-huh.
making choices, and why are you sitting there over there stressing yourself out and causing yourself unnecessary stress and worry when that doesn't line up with who you are? And she goes, and I realized that, like, we haven't been together for years, but that reason, she literally goes, I'm gonna call bullshit on those reasons. And I went,
That's a good therapist.
fuck.
Uh-huh.
I went, oh,
Yeah.
okay. I
Mm-hmm.
mean,
Yeah. All right. The expectations one. That's a huge one. Because I was thinking about where in my life do I run into these so often?
Mhm.
Expectations. Now, expectations of both yourself and expectations of other people. Expectations you have put, I have put on other people, but not communicated to them. Oh, this is a big one. And we kind of touched on this a little bit, but not in this not in this angle. How many times have we texted someone or or how many times have we texted someone and they didn't text back, and then we're like, well, they should have texted me by now. Right here. Yeah. Both of us.
No, 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 but
Absolutely.
but it's usually one way. It's usually, there's a lot of that. There was a lot of
What? What's that? What? Huh? What?
what? Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
All right, everybody, think about this. How many times have you said to yourself, they should have texted me by now, they should have called me by now, they should have done this by now? And then ask yourself,
They should have
why?
done this for me. If they
If the,
loved me,
uh-huh.
if they cared about me, they should have done this.
Mm-hmm.
Leave each other on red. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. Um, the there's a very popular thing going around right now that says if they cared, they would. It's a very popular. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes, I fucking hate
You
that.
could replace would with should. If they cared, if they love me, if they wanted to. If they wanted to, they would. Well, if they wanted to, they should. It's pretty much the same thing.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
And that's exactly. And that's a very manipulative. That's a very unhealthy way to look at it. But it's so popular right now. That is the catchphrase. That is the
And it's
phrase that's going around right
selfish.
now.
It's
It is very
selfish. And I think
selfish.
that if they did, they would. And it does, that phrase, that whole mindset
Hmm.
really, really bothers me. It deeply bothers me, because it
Yep.
is very much, well, if they did, they would. What if, okay, well, let's stop for a second. Yeah, you're right.
Hmm.
If they cared, they would. But what if, for let's suspension of belief, they can't right now? What if, okay,
Yes.
you want them to show you love and affection and all of that stuff, but let's say they got fired from their job, or they're going through a depressive episode and they're emotionally or mentally struggling. What if they
Hmm.
can't? It is not that they don't want to, they
Hmm.
just can't. And it is not selfish. Now, are there exceptions where there's just literally narcissists and jackasses who literally just choose not to?
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
to have a blanket statement, if they cared, they would, is selfish, self
Hmm.
centered, and it is not being in tune with what that other person needs. But it is
Yeah. And what they're
also,
going through.
right, but it is also that person, the other person's job.
Hmm.
See, and this is where it's a toxic on both ends, because
Hmm.
this person thinks, well, they don't care because they're not doing the thing that I need them to do. And this
Hmm.
person says, I can't do the thing that they need to do, even though I want to, because I'm going through this. It's something else when this person B, is over here going and communicates, I know I have been distant, or I know that I have been absent, or I know I am not giving you what you need right now. Here is what I'm going through. Here is what I need. Here is what I am able to provide. Here is what I need. And it's person A's job to go, okay, well, I'm going to listen to that. Out yourself for having that thought or feeling. Yes. But I mean, it's one of those, and it's person A's job to listen and go, okay, well, I'm
Mm-hmm.
feeling X, like he said, I'm feeling XYZ, but I
Mm-hmm.
understand why you are not giving me
Mm-hmm.
XYZ. So can we try giving me letter Q? Can we try Q? Can we
Yeah.
just at least
Yeah.
find that place where, okay, until you are able to give me XYZ?
Mm-hmm.
And it's
It's a
all
conversation.
right. It's not a long term solution, but it is
Mm-hmm.
at least a communication, and it's something that will keep you from going, well, if he would, he's not doing it because he just doesn't love me. That's so
That's a
toxic way.
projection. That's a lot of projection
It's
there.
a
Yeah.
toxic way of thinking about it.
Yeah. If you have a need, because that you're saying that because you have a need that's not being met.
Right.
So you communicate it, and like you said, sometimes it's a short term. It's a short term thing. They can't at this moment. They cannot. They are tapped out. We've had that conversation. I've been in a bad place, and I've talked to you, and because I need, and you just don't have the emotional energy because you're going through a lot of stuff at that time, and you just say, and you've said to me before, I just can't right now. Okay, I don't hate you for that. I'm not mad at you. I understand that you can't do that. And so I need to deal with that myself, or I need to talk to somebody else, or I need to, it's not a, you didn't create a problem. You were honest. You actually did the best thing you possibly could, which is tell me I can't right now.
And
Okay.
I think the words I said were, I want to be able to support you
Yeah.
and get you through this, but I
Hmm.
am not in a mental and emotional place. I am going through my own shit and I can't.
Yeah.
It is
Hmm.
not that I don't want to. It is not that I don't care about you, but I can't. I am not in a place because it will turn ugly.
And that was the best thing you could have done. That was the best thing you could have said. Because if you had not been honest with me and you had tried to do what I asked for you, you would have resented me because you were already tapped out and you just couldn't do it. Um, I might have, and if I might have even received it negatively if you had tried to do that, it wasn't like a full effort. I could tell it wasn't full effort. Instead of me going, "Oh, it's not full effort because she just doesn't have the emotional energy right now," I could have taken that as you just didn't care. When in
Right.
reality, it's just because you couldn't at that moment.
But that shows our growth. That shows our growth as
It
people
does.
and as friends because,
Yeah,
like honestly, a year ago, you would
we
have
would.
been like, she should have been there for me. She should have been there for me.
Yes,
And I would have
yes.
been like, I
You would
really
have. You
tried.
would
I
have.
guess I should suck it
You
up.
should. I
I
should do it. I
should
should be there
suck it
for him.
up and he needs me and all
And you
this
would have
stuff.
resented me because
Yeah.
I asked for it, but you didn't tell me. Yeah, we a year ago we would it would have been a very different conversation. Oh, ish, healthy, yeah, ish. We're
Ish.
it's a journey.
We're choosing
Oh
the
my
salad over
god.
the soup. That's where we're at right now,
Oh
Calvino. We're still
yeah.
having the half pound burger, but we're having salad beforehand.
This is where the Diet Coke comes in.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we're taking by little steps, little choices.
Little steps, little steps.
But
It's
yeah,
it's it's absolutely tough.
should,
Hmm.
coulds, woulds, and the shoulda, coulda, woulda. That's what my mom actually used to say that to me all the time.
Yeah.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Yeah, you shoulda, coulda, woulda, but you didn't. And
But
I'm
you
like,
didn't. Hmm.
which is guilty. Shoulda, coulda, woulda,
Yeah.
but you didn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's there is so there's a short term, but there's also a long term. Not everybody can meet. Two people can't always meet the needs. It is possible to be with someone who just cannot provide that. It's not that they don't want to. Some people maybe they're not emotionally mature enough to do that.
Hmm.
That doesn't mean that they're a bad person. They're just not in a place where they can do that thing that you need them to do. It just happens. So that's a reality.
Hmm.
But a lot of times it falls in the short term. And like you said, people have to have a conversation about it.
Or here's a long term
Or
example. Here's a long term
yeah,
example.
okay.
Being a people pleaser.
Oh, I'm feeling called out here.
I'm looking in a mirror,
You're
buddy.
work.
It's fine. I'm literally looking right at myself in this camera. It's fine.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Calvino, I love you so much.
Oh
But
my
here's but
god, I
but
love it.
here is where you don't realize how much this mindset, the
Mm-hmm.
I should do this, and you're like, it's right out of obligation, because it's one of those, especially when we grew up in the church, especially when I should care about others
Yeah.
before myself.
I should
I
sacrifice.
a sacrifice, and we talk about this a lot, and I know we
Mm-hmm.
talk about, but this is because Sean and
Yeah.
I had grew up in the church, and we were taught that sacrifice, being martyrs was the only
Oh my
way
god.
you could be a good person. That saying no,
Saying no was
no,
not a
no,
yeah. Saying no was not an option.
you should
If
do.
someone hadn't,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
sorry, go ahead.
Mhm. Go ahead.
All right, all right. If yeah, saying no was an option. If someone expressed a need, if someone needed help in some area, whatever the area, you were expected to fulfill that. You were expected to do something about that. I should be doing this. And if you didn't, well, what does that mean about you? That's where the guilt comes in. I should have
Mhm.
done that. I should have helped them out. Regardless of whether or not I was in a place to, I should have. And I feel guilty about it because I didn't. And now I've sinned. Now I've sinned. Uh-oh.
But what if you've been
There's
out
a
of the
spiral.
church for a while? What does that mean? And what that means
Ooh. Mhm.
is that you still have that mindset. I feel bad.
Yeah.
I feel bad that they're in a bad place. So
Mhm.
I should help them out because I can.
Yep.
And okay, if that lines up with your value goals, and I'm not here again the big goal
Mhm.
of like value goals, okay, that's fine, but again, ask yourself why. Who is telling you you should?
Mhm.
Are they telling you you should? Because you often, when the person that you should be helping out and you could be helping out and you would be helping out, usually are the people that will tell you that. They're going to be the first person that's going to tell you, well, you should help if you cared.
Yes. Ooh, yeah, it's worse when when it's doubled down by the other person.
Oh, yeah.
We're not saying helping people is a bad thing. Not at all. There's a difference between I should and I want to. That's the key. If you want to, absolutely by all means, do it because you want to do it. But if instead of say, but instead of you go when you think about it, instead of going from I want, the first thought is I should. That's a red flag. That means that you probably don't want to. You're feeling obligated to. Ask yourself why you're feeling obligated. Dig into that. You'll probably realize it's not a good idea.
Yeah. I don't know. It's obligation. And this thought, because my ADD, and
Hmm.
it's my ADD. Is being obligated a good thing? I mean, okay. My therapist says it should not be good or bad. Okay.
Look, it's growth in front of our eyes.
Is being obligated or feeling obligated something that will serve you in a positive way?
Ooh, that's a good question. Hmm. Are there times where obligation is important? Maybe you don't want to, but you feel obligated to, and that's a positive thing. Um, I think sometimes it's a matter of commitment, not necessarily obligation.
Okay.
For
You want to hear the
example,
definition? Hold on.
yeah, yeah, please.
Obligation. An act or course of action to which a person is morally or legally bound, a duty or commitment. A debt,
Hmm.
a debt of gratitude for a service or favor. She didn't want to be under an obligation to him.
Now we start getting into stringy
None
situations.
of that is a choice. Have you noticed that none
Yeah.
of that is a choice?
No. That whole
That's an
obligation
expectation.
is
That's an
it is.
expectation.
And we've talked about before, a lot of people's help comes with strings, comes with obligations. A lot of people's gifts come with the same thing. So why are you doing this for this person? Is it because you feel obligated to do it for this person? Why? Why? That's a good question to start to be asking yourself. So usually several times. Why do you feel obligated?
I had something that I had a thought that goes through my head that, oh, it's a little uncomfortable for me and might be uncomfortable for some people. Okay.
All right, let me adjust. Let me brace myself here. Okay.
Okay. I should help them because it is what I have always done. And it is because you
Ooh.
choose not to do something different. You should help them because it is what you've always done. You have always been there for them, and you are afraid. You are afraid to make a different choice. You should make that choice because you don't want to make another one.
Ooh.
Okay. Like that
Oh
literally is making me
yeah.
uncomfortable because I'm like, God fucking damn it. Ah.
Because making a different choice means
Change.
something different. Yes, means change, means a different outcome. And even if the outcome, even if the
I'm sorry. I'm
that
sorry.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah, it did.
I did warn you. I did warn you it was coming.
Even if that even if doing that thing that you feel obligated to, is going to end up having a negative result or is
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
not
We're not
what?
going to use negative and positive.
Okay. So even though the thing that you feel obligated to, um,
Might feel uncomfortable in the short term.
my there you go, might feel uncomfortable in the short term. Um, that uncomfortable, we often will judge that uncomfortable as better than what may happen when we do something different. The feeling that comes from change. We often pick the known uncomfortable versus the unknown uncomfortable. That's why we stay in places we shouldn't stay. We should. Huh? See, there it is, right there. That's why we stay in places longer than we know,
We
longer
need
than we
to.
want to.
Want to
We
and
need to.
need
Yeah.
to. Yeah.
Yeah. I
I
mean, I was there for
should
15
take care
years.
of them because they can't take
Yeah.
care of themselves. Who are you to say?
Yeah.
Who are you to say that they can't take care of themselves?
Mhm.
If they
Maybe
can't
the
take,
reason they can't take care of themselves is because you have been doing it for them. Wow. Whew. We're getting personal here.
we talk about sitting in our uncomfortable feelings. Okay, that's
Uh,
fine. Hey, folks, welcome, welcome. We're over here. Sean and I both get twitchy when we're uncomfortable.
we
We're
do.
like, okay, all
You start seeing us shift around a lot. Here we go. Fine. Fine.
we're good.
Fine.
It's fine. Yeah, no, it's one of those. That's the thing is I should because I always have.
Mhm.
I should because they expect that of me. Again, there's that expectation.
Yeah.
Okay, they expect that of you, but what do you want for yourself? What do you want? What is your long term goal? Do you want to be?
Mhm.
And that's the thing. Me
Yeah.
myself, and I have seen a lot of my uncomfortable feelings like soaking in liquid.
Yes.
um,
Mhm.
it's and I've seen a lot of my friends go through this question, and it's one of those. Is this what I want? Is this going to line up with my goals? Do I feel like I should do this because this is what I want? And
Hmm.
do I want to live like this? And do you? And I've actually said this because, again, I don't like asking these questions of myself. I don't. But I've also asked
Hmm.
my friends this: Is this what you want? Is this what you want next year? Do you want to be going through this next year? Are you okay with living like this for the next 10 years? And I've had to ask
Ooh.
myself that question, and it's fucking, fucking,
Oh.
fucking painful. Fucking,
Oh my
fucking, fucking
God.
painful. Like it is hard, and I am still
Yeah.
struggling with that. Like as we speak, that is something that I struggle with. Like, do I feel like what should I do? Because that's what like I've asked myself of other people, what should I do? What should I do? I'm asking the wrong person.
What do you want to do?
What do I want to do? What is right for me? Not what I
Yes.
should
Oh.
be doing,
Oh my God.
but what is
I
right
wish I.
for me to be doing.
I wish I'd known this information years ago when I was. Because I tell you, the should trap, this trap that you get into with the should and the obligation, that ruled. Oh my God, that was most of my
Ruled
most of
like
my
past
marriage
tense?
is
Past tense?
what
Past tense? It ruled like past
I'm talking
tense?
about my marriage.
Oh, okay.
Marriage. I want the marriage.
Okay.
Like, I mean, think about because we rebooted about 5 years ago, right?
Mhm.
So you saw me go through the unofficial separation and the separation, right? And think about all those shoulds that dictated my choices, right? Pretty much every choice was a should choice. What came from a should. I had no. I had no obligation to any of that. I made myself obligated to it because I should because I didn't ask the question because I didn't know to ask the question.
Well, and you can't get mad at
What?
yourself for not knowing what you
Yeah,
don't know.
but that's where the struggle came from. That's why I made the choices I did is because that's what I was doing at that time. I didn't know any different.
Mhm.
Everything was a should. Well, I should do that. I should do that. I should let her stay. I should pay for this. Why? Yeah. Mm. It's a great episode. Great episode, folks. Thanks.
um
Yeah.
I'm looking the areas I find myself using this, um
Family.
but productivity, jealousy, anger, negative intent,
Yeah.
projections, expectations.
Productivity is a big one for me. I think it's a big one
Yeah.
for a lot of people. Yeah. Um productivity. I grew up believing that if I wasn't being productive, my value, my worth, my self-worth was based upon my productivity. I should be doing something. I should be working on something. I should be fixing something. I should be making something. I should be cleaning. I should be constantly moving and doing something. There was no downtime. If
Mhm.
I wasn't producing, what was I doing with my time? And you learn that in the church. You learn that especially in the church. There's always someone you should be helping. There's always some calls that you should be giving your time to. On the weekends, you should be doing all of this stuff. You should be serving here and serving in the church. You should be doing all that. And if you don't, well then, are you really a good Christian? Are you really living your faith if you're not? Yeah, so you grew up believing that you have to be busy all the time. I grew up believing I had to be busy all the time. That there was no downtime. I was always working, either church, my job, or school. There was little downtime. So I carry that into my adulthood.
Mhm.
If I game for too long, I start feeling guilty. I should be doing something else. I should be cleaning the house. I should be doing something productive. And I start feeling guilty because I want a game. I did because I want a game, but I shouldn't be gaming. I tell myself I shouldn't be, and then I
But
feel guilty about it.
how often do we also reverse that? when somebody else is choosing not to be productive or do the things on your time schedule or do the chores exactly how you want to do them or when
Ooh.
you want to do them. And then in your head, you think the should statement. They should be helping me. They should be doing
Yes.
they should be doing the dishes.
Yes. Yes. Oh my God.
They should
Yes.
be like, I don't understand why they do it this way. They should be doing it that way.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Says who? You?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just as
Would
guilty
you
as
like?
I'm guilty of
Yeah.
both thinking both on both of
Oh,
those ends.
absolutely.
And then you get mad.
I
And then you get angry.
you get resentful.
Mm-hmm.
All of this, especially when you're projecting that, is leads to resentfulness. You
Mm-hmm.
resent the other person. And if you followed any of the Gottman institutes, when you're talking, especially when you're talking about relationships and marriage, what was that face for?
Sorry. Go ahead.
Resentfulness is one of the cornerstones of a failed relationship. When you start harboring a lot of resentment, that's a really bad sign that things aren't going well. That things are leading in a bad direction. That's all. That's where I was going with it. The I here's one of the things that I struggle with. If someone is cleaning around me, if someone is picking things up or cleaning the kitchen, I cannot not clean. If someone around me is cleaning, I must clean. Why? Because I feel obligated to be cleaning.
But we've also been conditioned by our parents,
That's
by
that's
our
why I feel obligated. By our
parents,
partners,
by our
by our
partners. Yeah,
parents.
like yeah.
Yeah, because we both in our younger years, if someone was cleaning and you weren't helping,
Oh god. Okay, yeah. Yeah.
how dare you? Yeah, exactly. So that is a serious struggle for me.
Yeah.
The only reason I haven't dealt with that recently is because I live alone, so there's nobody else cleaning in my house. But I promise you, if you were to come over to my house and you were to start cleaning, I would be right there next to you cleaning. I cannot not clean when
Hold
someone else
on.
is.
I'm getting triggered. Hold on. Give me a second.
Yeah.
I'm having
So
all
those
of these flashbacks.
Mhm. Mhm.
Anna, what are you doing? Why am I in here? Blah, 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 blah. Or they get home. What have you been doing all day?
Sorry. Yep. Mm-mm. That was my marriage right there. That's see, because for a second I was thinking, you know what? I grew up in a hoarder's house. The whole "why aren't you cleaning" that really wasn't a thing, because you could just look around the house and go, I don't know, why aren't you cleaning? Look at this, right? So I'm like, so for a second while you were talking, I was like, where does this where did I get this from? And then I remembered when you said that when someone comes home, I dealt with that every single time when my ex came home, and why is this not done? Why is that not done? What have you been doing all day?
We both have triggered ourselves and we're like, okay,
Oh,
where do we go from here?
we gotta go. Oh my god.
Welcome to our trauma train wreck. Okay, so
So many times, yeah.
and
Kavina
don't
felt that
you
one
feel
too.
like okay, so like it's all these things that our families, our the church, society, I should be oh, and also the thing,
Hmm.
I would be, but I would do this, but I
Hmm.
would cut this person off because they're not unhealthy for me,
Hmm.
but they need me. I
Yeah.
would do this. Not and it's one of those and it's usually used in the reverse. So like I should be doing this. And
Hmm.
that's that guilt. But then you
Hmm.
have the would statements of
Hmm.
I would do that, but they need me. I would do that, but there's something holding me back. It's
Yeah.
in the whole
It's
just it's alleviating yourself from responsibility.
yes.
It's almost like
Yeah.
saying
It's out of
it's
my control.
right. It's not in you. It's you not taking accountability. It's you going, I want to do that. It's you going, I want to do that. I want to move on with my life, or I want to be productive, or I want
Hmm.
to be more organized. I want to do these things, but it's out of my control because that's horseshit. It's just as much
Yes.
horseshit as I should be doing this because.
Hmm.
Okay. So let's so what if they cut you out? What now? What if there was no obstacle? Would you still do it?
Or is it just an excuse?
Exactly. Or is
Yeah.
it just an excuse because you are chicken shit? And I'm not calling anybody else in particular. This is just as much for me. Like I'm saying, calling
Yes.
this from personal
We are
experience.
speaking from our own
Oh my god,
experiences.
and you
Yeah.
don't notice that we're all triggered right now, but I mean, this is one of those ones is I sat here and I've said that to myself so many times. I would do that, but XYZ. I would do
Hmm.
that, but and what it is me being fucking chicken shit. It is me being chicken shit because
Hmm.
I don't want to admit to myself that it is all within my control. And again, something I talked with my therapist about, and something that I am having to chew on here lately, and something that I am sitting in very much uncomfortable situations with because I'm having to come to the realization that I have to, if I want to heal, if I want to get better, if I want to get to where I want to and achieve my valued goals, I have to stop being a
Hmm.
motherfucking chicken shit. And I have to stop sitting here and going, I should, or I would, or I could have. And I got to stop saying all of those phrases. I would do that, but they need me. I would do that, but it's going to negatively impact somebody. I would do that. I am putting so much power and control in other people's hands. I should do that. So I am over
Hmm.
there when I say that I should statements. I am putting somebody's control, some whether it be my religious beliefs or my societal beliefs, my moral and ethical beliefs. I am putting that and letting that control me instead of um instead of being I should, instead of going, no, this is what I am going to be doing.
Hmm.
Unapologetic, and that's part of DBT, and that's unapologetically making choices for myself. And that is very hard when you grew up in a church or you grew up with trauma and you grew up in all those things, because that is not what you are innately, your brain does. And it does it like I wasn't even aware I was doing it till my therapist pointed it out to me. And I was like, what? That's again, stop being fucking good at your job. like,
Hmm.
I would do this, but which
Hmm.
means I'm not being responsible for that. No, I would do it, but there's a lot of factors that are out of my control. Actually, it's all in your control.
Hmm. Yep. Yeah. Cavi knows like I would change trades, but I'm afraid I won't be good at it and can't support myself. Yeah. That's a big one. That's where it comes down to the I would do this. I want to do this,
Hmm.
but I'm saying that I'm afraid. It's the fear of what's gonna happen. But you want to do it, but you're just afraid of. So you're letting the control. You're putting the control elsewhere.
Hmm.
You're letting the fear control you instead
And
of
where did
making a
we learn
choice.
that? Where did we learn to put the control somewhere else? Where did we do that? At the foot of the
Control.
cross. Bring it to
Oh
Jesus.
yes,
Bring it to
yes,
God.
yes. Foot of the cross. Foot of the
If
cross.
I were a
Give
good
it to God.
Christian, I should be doing this. I should be going out and talking to
Yes.
the world. If I were a good
Yes.
Christian, if I were a good Christian
Share my
woman,
testimony.
I know. I would like
Yeah. All of the qualifiers. We learned a lot of qualifiers. Yeah. All the things that I should be doing. I don't want to do any of them. but I felt I had to. Felt I was supposed to. Because if I didn't do those things,
Mhm.
yeah, I was a bad Christian, or
And
God didn't
remember,
love me.
you also are telling yourself, I shouldn't be doing that. I
Yeah.
shouldn't
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh, I shouldn't like women because that's not right. I shouldn't like that because that's
Yeah.
against what the Bible says. I shouldn't I shouldn't want to be a leader. I shouldn't want to do that because I shouldn't want to feel this way. I shouldn't feel
Mhm.
bad for being whatever or doing whatever. I shouldn't feel bad for somebody hurting me because I need to practice compassion and patience and peace and love, and I
Yes.
shouldn't feel guilty if I shouldn't feel guilty if I were following in the path of the Lord.
Mine? Wow. Yeah. I shouldn't be angry. That was the one I learned. Um, I shouldn't I shouldn't feel angry. Because and that's one I still struggle with, is the idea that anger, because as we've talked about before, and as you this big thing in therapy is emotions aren't good or bad. Emotions are emotions. Anger is emotion. So I tell myself, but I tell myself I shouldn't be angry. I shouldn't be angry. Because I've learned that I've been taught that anger's bad. You shouldn't be angry.
Okay.
You know, and so I've lived
Anger's
with
bad,
that. So
okay.
like, yeah, anytime I get angry, instead of, feeling it and thinking about it, and just letting the anger be there. Anger is a secondary emotion that we've had this conversation a lot. Um, I suppress it, and I convince myself, well, I shouldn't be angry. I don't have anything to be angry about.
My big one is hurt. And that was
Yeah.
actually one that I've gone through in therapy a lot, and actually it's
Mhm.
a very ongoing theme of me dealing with my hurt inner child, and just being hurt in general, and feeling hurt, and I shouldn't feel hurt. And it this
Mhm.
came from my childhood and through the church, not just through the church but through my family, and into just my adult life. I shouldn't feel hurt because they take care of me. I shouldn't feel hurt because they do X, Y, and Z. I shouldn't
Yes.
feel hurt because I'm seeing it wrong. I shouldn't feel hurt. I shouldn't feel, period. I
Mhm.
shouldn't feel,
Mhm.
fill in the blank. I shouldn't feel this way. Who says I shouldn't? Who says
Yeah.
I shouldn't? You? You say I shouldn't feel that way? Why are
Yeah.
you
It's
telling
someone else
me
dictating your feelings. Yeah.
why I should feel this way, and why am I letting you tell me that I shouldn't?
So then
Fuck
it
you.
becomes. Would you say it becomes like self gaslighting?
Yeah, it becomes self-gaslighting. Oh, well, you're right. I shouldn't feel that way because they work so hard, or I shouldn't feel taken advantage of because they would if they could, but they can't. So I shouldn't feel like they are using me. And I shouldn't
Mhm.
feel,
I shouldn't feel hurt because they were just joking. That's a big one. A lot of people deal with that, the just joking one. Yeah. I've been guilty. I've been guilty of that in past years. The whole, well, I was joking about it, but they were hurt, and so yeah, I've been on both sides of that.
mhm.
Um, you're if someone says something that upsets you, you're allowed to feel the way you do.
And you're not allowed to tell anybody else what they feel.
That they're not allowed to feel that way.
But in reverse,
Hmm.
no one is allowed to tell you how to feel,
Hmm.
or what to think, or how to think. You know? No one. I don't care. Give a fuck who they are.
Yeah.
And that's the one I struggle with. I really do. And I don't know. It's I'm I'm getting past
Yeah.
that. I'm moving past that, which is what I'm working on in therapy. This is actually the
Mhm.
big one I'm working on right now. And understanding I have so many of those shoulds. I should want to do this, right? I should want to so this
Mhm.
is should have could have done differently in life or people's expectation for us. Go ahead, Sean, you can explain it.
Oh, this is all the times that we say we should do something. It's the obligation versus what you want, and where what you want, what you believe, and how you feel versus this need, this obligation to do something. And we're talking both, in certain small scales, larger scales, simply within our own our own beliefs versus dealing with other people, our friendships and our relationships. It's what you want versus what you should and feel obligated to do, and how we grew up and where these things came from. Like they came from, being raised in the church, being we they came from our relationships. People taught us, we learned it, to we learned to act a certain way. Like I should, like that we were talking about the cleaning thing. I should be cleaning. If someone else is cleaning, I should be cleaning. Why should I be cleaning? Why do I feel obligated to be cleaning? Why do if someone gives me a gift, why do I feel obligated to give them a gift? Why do I feel obligated? Should is all about obligation. And so what we're asking the question is, where does that obligation come from? Why do we feel that way? Or who told us? Like when we say something about ourselves. Like I had this conversation with my therapist recently. We were starting to unpack and talking about inner child work, and I was like, I was looking at some of the unhealthy relationships I've had. And I'm like, I should have recognized this when I was younger. I should have known this when I was, 10 years ago. I should have seen this and done something about it. And my therapist went, based on what? Why? Why do you feel that you should have seen it? Why do you feel you should have known about it and you should have done something about it? Why do you think you're 10 yourself? Why are you saying should?
Mm-hmm.
You were is it possible you were doing the best you could with what you knew?
Mm-hmm.
Just because you know it now, you didn't know it then. So
Mm-hmm.
why should you? Why? Who's telling you you should have been able to do something about this or known better?
Right. And you're absolutely right.
Programming, conditioning. Yep.
Yes. Programming,
Hmm.
conditioning, whether social norms and what and where is your circle? What's your social circle? Our social circle a lot was our growing up was family and church.
Hmm.
And even though we got out of it, that is sort of again just like programming. It's background processing. That's
Yeah.
in computer language. It's the background processing. It's not up front. You sometimes you don't even know it's there, but it's still running.
Hmm.
And that's what
Hmm.
the where the a lot of the should statements and the guilt from those I should or I could be doing this. That's where a lot of that the background processing. And again, I on Thursday when I was talking with my therapist and I was dealing with this, I didn't even realize, even though I have made great strides in making choices for myself and doing these things, I didn't even realize still how far I still had taken it until she's like, so where is all this coming from?
Hmm.
You're having these doubts, you're like you're struggling with these things. Where is it? And when you stop and especially when you feel conflicted, when you're having these conflicting things,
Hmm.
usually it's coming from, well, I feel this way, but I should be feeling this way.
Hmm.
And that's where your brain goes that cognitive dissonance.
Yes.
And I know that I was doing that and I was like, fucking what the fuck? you know,
Yeah.
why should
And that,
you?
and when you
Yeah.
and when you deal with that a lot, you end up feeling guilty and you feel anxious. it really has a negative effect on your mental health when you're constantly holding that space for that cognitive dissonance.
And I think the thing is that when you hold that space for the I shoulds, when you have all those background processes going, it shuts you off to being able to accept things that could make you better. Because there is something in yourself that is saying, I actually feel this way. And that background process, that should statement, that programming, that feeling of guilt and shame and whatever it is that has been conditioned is that block. It's that block of keeping you from moving forward and allowing yourself to. And here's the thing.
Mm-hmm. Give it to us.
Yeah. If you are constantly feeling and thinking, I'm doing this because I should, not because I want to, then somebody else is controlling your life. If you are making choices and making decisions and your actions are because you feel like you should, not because you want to, but because you should, then somebody else is dictating and controlling your life, and you are allowing them.
Ooh. I felt that one.
Welcome to my
Yeah.
past 4 days. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Have a nice day.
Yep. And if you're always giving up control, then you can never change anything.
Mm-hmm. And who is controlling you? Is who if somebody else is controlling you and your choices, is it somebody you want to be controlling you and making your choices? And
Mm-hmm.
are you using that as and I am saying all of this because these are things I've said to myself, so I don't want you to feel like
Mm-hmm.
I'm like I know these are all things that I have been dealing with. Is that allowing somebody to control your choices? I should be doing this. Is that you giving yourself an out? I should be doing this for them so you don't have to accept responsibility for making that choice.
So a crutch or a scapegoat?
Somebody else is controlling you. You had no, like, that was, I mean, somebody else.
Can't do anything about it.
And I didn't want to look like a bad person, so I did it. And
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm. Arugs cut knives.
slices,
Mm-hmm.
dices,
This
makes
is
decent humans.
Julie.
Wah-da!
Julianne's the trauma.
Julian's the drama. But yeah, I think, and I say all this jokes on them. I don't need an attitude. They don't. Yes,
Mm.
but here's where all this is coming from is something that I've been thinking about is when I was going and my therapist asked me that it's like should,
Mm-hmm.
and I really had to dive into that again. Very very uncomfortable, very uncomfortable, very
Yeah.
very uncomfortable. But if I'm thinking I should do this because I don't want to hurt them, or I should do
Mm-hmm.
this because they need me, or I should do this because of the absence of something. The absence. I mean, they're not bad. They're not bad people, so I should do this because they're not bad people. That's not a reason either. That is giving somebody power over you. And that is you allowing them, you are
Mhm.
choosing to give them the power. You are choosing to let them control your life. And here's the fucking shitter that I really fucking hate. Even if like say okay, even if you say like you break up with somebody and
Mhm.
you still like, oh well, I should still help them out because they can't help themselves out. Or
Mhm.
you know, Sean, I'm going to come after you for just a second.
Go ahead.
I
I was waiting
should,
for this one.
I should let them stay in the house and I should pay for their
Yes.
stuff until because I should, because I promised. That is letting another person
Yes.
still control you while you
Mhm.
suffer. And only person you can blame is yourself.
Yeah, that's correct. Yep. Mhm.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you would still want them to control your life and make that, don't fucking break up with them. Get back together with them.
Mhm.
But obviously you broke up with them and you ended the relationship for a fucking reason, but you're still allowing them to treat you like you're still dating or you're
Yeah.
still married.
Yep.
I
Yep.
should, but I should, I know I should, and I would kick her out, but she doesn't have a place to
But
go.
yes.
But she's
And I
telling me,
feel obligated, which translates to I feel obligated.
mm-hmm.
Mhm. Which is a lot of cognitive dissonance to hold on to because did I want her there? Absolutely not. But I felt obligated to have her there. And so those things smash right up against each other in my
You were
head.
still
And that
acting like her husband.
yes.
You were still acting
Mhm.
like her husband. And I don't know how many people I
Yes.
say, you're still acting like you're like what?
Mhm. And I was allowing that behavior.
And again, this does not
Mhm.
this doesn't just go with marriages or anything. Like I am so guilty of this with friends. I'm so guilty of this fuck with my mother. I like
Mhm.
and I am so guilty of that.
Yeah.
And I'm finally coming to that realization, and it fucking is. I
Right.
feel like my like just. There's not even words. It's just sound effects. I
Yeah, it's
when I
wrenching.
when
Yeah.
I come to that realization, I'm like, the girl was talking.
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm. You have to do the best you can in what you want to do instead of and but that's also playing the what if game. Well, if you had just done that's also gets into the kind of the codependency of, well, if I had just done more, if I had just done this, if I had just done that.
No, that's what comes in the I could have statement.
Oh, you're right. Yes, I could
You
have
could
thing.
have, we
It should
could
like
have.
should have been in the past.
Yes. There should
Mhm.
have, could have. I could have
Could
done
have
this, and
and
we
would
could
have.
have done this. We could have,
Yes.
and it
Mhm.
would have. But then we can't go back and change that. We can't go back and change what has
Yeah.
happened to us. And yay, more therapy. Um, I the statement is we cannot change the trauma and the bad and the things that have happened to us in our past. We cannot.
Mhm.
However, it is our responsibility to heal and move forward with what has happened to us. So it is not our responsibility for what could have happened or what did happen to us, but it is our responsibility to take right now and right where we're at, and we're at in different places from day to day,
Mhm.
where we are at right now. And it is our responsibility to confront that, deal with it, heal from it, and move forward. So that's the coulda statement. I could have been prevented. All of this could have been prevented
Could have.
if.
Yep.
I would have
It
done, and it always comes to those
mhm.
statements. I could have done, we could have prevented this if. I would have done this, but I should have done this. I should do this
Should do
because.
this. Yes. Mhm. I think if you started, if everyone started making note of how many times they said that, I think we'd be surprised. I think everyone would be surprised the number of times those those come out.
I was.
That's why they're so was I. That's why it's so difficult to deal with this, because we don't even realize how often we do it.
Hmm.
It's just it rolls off. It's very much ingrained in our thought processes.
We gaslight ourselves with
Um,
these statements.
yeah, we do. If you deal with a lot of anxiety and a lot of guilt, take stock in how many times
You say one
you
of these
how many times you
statements.
frame.
One of these
Yeah.
statements.
Hmm.
How many
There's
you
a
say I
good
should have?
chance.
I could have. I would have.
Yeah.
Really, really, and once I started really paying attention, because now that we're supposed to be aware, you can't
Hmm.
change what you're not aware of.
Yeah.
Yikes! I realized how much stock I put in other people and how much I let other people control my life, because that's how I've been all my life.
Hmm.
Started with my family, started then continued with the church.
Yeah. We learned to put our lives in other people's hands, put our choices in other people's hands, to let other people make decisions for us and decide what decisions we should make based upon them. It was also a defense mechanism. It was a way that we dealt with, like, especially if we're trying to people please and keep the peace. We're cognizant of everyone's moods and feelings and actions, and in order to keep the peace, we watch for these things, and then we adjust accordingly based upon everyone else.
You want to know what the people pleaser phrase is?
What is it?
Okay, our guilty phrase to ourselves is I should
Hmm.
be, right?
Yes.
The
Yeah.
people pleaser phrase is I
Hmm.
would, which is telling the other person that you want to.
Hmm.
So you're not letting them know that you don't want to, or you're not letting them, you're telling them I want to,
Hmm.
but I can't, or I would, but so then you are people pleasing. So you're still not the bad guy. That other person,
You're
that other
you're
thing,
deflecting the
you're
blame at that
right.
point.
So you're not, so the
Oh,
people pleaser
yes.
phrase, so the
Oh,
shame phrase is I should. The guilt
yes.
phrase, the people pleasing phrase is
People
I
pleasing phrase.
would, but
Oh,
just tell me you
yes.
don't want to. Just tell me you don't want to.
Yeah.
Just tell me I'm not
But
really
we don't
feeling
want to
it.
be
I
the
can't.
bad guy.
Right.
We don't want to be the bad guy because people pleasers.
Right. Just tell me you don't want
So we'll
to go.
deflect it.
Tell me you don't want to
Oh,
go. Tell me you don't like that movie. Or usually when you say I would, it's usually when they're inviting you to do something, or they're
yeah.
inviting you or whatever, and you're like,
I
I
would, but I got
would.
this other stuff to do.
But
I would, but my spouse. I would, but my significant other. I would, but and
I
yet
would, but I
for
have the
them,
kids.
the kid. I can't. Yeah, the kids. Yeah.
I would, but I've got other plans. Which, I mean, instead of just saying, I can't, I have other plans,
Hmm.
it's going, I would. So, but here's the catch to that.
Hmm.
Yeah, I would, but I have other plans. And then they find out the other plans got canceled and you still didn't. You still
Yeah.
didn't call and say, "Hey, is it the offer still open?" Then you didn't really want to.
Hmm.
Just say you can't.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I
Because
won't even
we
think about
because
it.
that's what it really comes down to is you can't. Whether or not you want to, you can't. You can't do it, or you don't want to, or just be honest. And that's where I think a lot of times with friends, I'm guilty of this. You don't want to hurt the other person's feelings. You because again, people please, and so Yeah, I would, but oh my god, yeah. Mm.
But you notice as a people pleaser.
Mhm.
Are you ready? We're gonna end on this. I'll let y'all sit on that
Okay.
one.
Oh god, yeah. Give
You
it to
ready?
us.
Yeah, you ready?
Yeah.
We're less likely to say no to the people who are toxic for us because we don't want them to be mad or upset or berate us than we are to say no to the people who are good to us and are good for us because they're going to understand.
That is such an accurate statement. Oh
And
my
then
god, that is
and then
yeah.
we don't understand and we it becomes our belief system because it happens so often that people are shitty and that people don't treat us well and people don't like us because we're constantly saying no to the people who aren't shitty, who make us feel good about ourselves because we know that they understand, we know that they're kind people
Wow.
and we don't want to hurt their feelings, so we don't hurt their feelings, but we say yes to the toxic people
That is
because
so
they
true.
could hurt us. So so they could hurt us. So we're making the choice
Mhm.
because they could hurt us for the possibility. So they could hurt us, they could be mad at us, something bad could happen. So we're going
Mhm.
to say yes to that and grow resentful and grow angry and shut ourselves off and be hurt and don't understand why
Mhm.
people use us and why no one loves us because they could. So we feel we should.
Wow. Yeah.
And
So
then
in a way, we're teaching people to treat us poorly.
wonder why people treat us poorly and why no one loves us and why I feel like because we're giving them control.
Yeah.
We're never honest with
We're,
ourselves.
yep. Oh, yeah. You have to teach people how to treat you. If your no is your no, then your no is your no. The answer is no. Wow. When in reality, the people that are treating us on in a poorer way, the people that are kind of trying to coerce us or run us over, they're the ones we should be the most adamant no, but
You
we're
said we
not,
should
and it's
be.
usually
You said we should
you're
be.
right. See, there it is. These are the people
We need to.
we need to. Yes, we need to. Yeah. Mm. Wow.
And
Good
I
point.
am fucking done with the I shoulds and the I woulds and I could.
Can't know, and I don't want to are the heaviest words ever. There. No is a complete no, and saying no as a complete sentence is heavy. It's heavy to say. I struggle with that. No.
We all struggle with that. Anybody who's a codependent
Yeah.
enabler, people pleaser,
Oh yeah, yeah.
who grew
Because
up in the
it's
church,
saying
yeah.
no, and then say no
And then not
without
over explaining yourself.
you owe no one. You don't owe anyone an explanation. So just saying no and letting it sit out there, ooh, mm, that's painful, but it's important.
Yes.
Ooh,
Okay, now that I'm
healing's
gonna sit,
tough.
I know I'm sitting in my uncomfortableness. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay, like that's fine. All right. So with that, um, I next week is Comic Palooza, so
Hmm.
I don't and my kids and they're going on a cruise, so I don't know if Waking Up will be on next week or 76. And so we'll see because I
Yeah.
think I'm gonna go to Comic Palooza. Sorry, Actually, I'm not sorry. I want to go to Comic Palooza.
No,
I
don't
love
be
you guys.
sorry.
I love you guys, but I want a life. Like, I want a life outside of
So
streaming, and Comic Palooza only comes once a year.
we are not streaming. we are not planning to stream next Sunday
Yes.
because you're going to be at Comic Palooza.
Yes.
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 So we're just gonna say that. Do you want to stream or do you want to go to Comic Palooza?
I want to go to Comic Please.
You want? All right, then there's your answer.
But the week after that, we're going to be streaming together live from
Oh my
Con
gosh, we are.
Carolinas. So,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes,
we
we are.
we may not be streaming because I'm going to a comic convention, but the next week we'll be also streaming from a convention, but we'll be together so I can physically hit him. So it's good. It's all gravy.
Oh no. I forgot about that. Oh my god. Pray for me, guys. Pray for me. I need your thoughts and prayers. Orgasms and Oreos?
Yes. O's and O's. That's what I said. O's and O's.
O's and O's.
O's
There
and
we
O's.
go.
So, but today we are doing 76 Sundays, which is where I play Fallout 76 and I fuck around the wasteland and find out Pep abuse it is not abusive. He says, thank you, mommy. So,
I mean, she's not wrong.
So I'm playing Fallout 76, and that is at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And so please come back. It's right here on Nerd Mama Ace, and it's been fair. So it's been great. It's been a lot of fun. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. I'm gonna go sit in my emotional discomfort right now, and I'm gonna try.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks to us for doing this to ourselves.
Yeah, that's fine.
Great.
That's fine. Okay.
So we love you guys.
Love you guys, and we will hold on. See you later.
Bye.